Saturday Showdown. Guangdong Freaks versus Leaf Sandbox.
But makes a ton of sense. KT setting up for a composition where the 1-for-1 I think is looking really threatening, right? Being able to threaten with a Nocturne inside, with a Killer Instinct, something that KT in particular have been great at using. And yeah, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it, Valdez.
No, I was waiting.
No.
I was so ready.
No.
Chronicler, I want to ask, do you love the Braum here after the early game, as it looks like we're just about ready to hop onto the Rift? Let's go into it for game number 1.
No.
Like,
No,
not even Lucid and Challengers is as obvious as that one.
No. No,
Like,
that's how there is actually. I don't think there's anyone else.
Yeah.
It might actually be like one of the first unanimous votes.
That's like the worst trade deal actually in the history of all trade deals.
I agree.
Like,
Right
Annie's
there with
great.
you.
I'm actually
Umpty.
okay, a little bit of trouble, but Umpty is going in, gonna miss the charge, and now Cuz is here, level 5, but the root is gonna hit, and now Umpty's in a lot of trouble. The fear will force the flash.
He's there.
Just hanging out, you know. He's they're doing all right.
So this is a Brion game, so we actually have time to talk about any other team that we've won.
I mean,
There's not a whole lot of
things are happening. It's just a natural slide of KT taking the early game and pretty much everything. I mean, Cuz he hasn't paranoia'd yet, but he did get the Rift Herald, so can just drop him in. As we're gonna flash on in. No flash here for Karis. He's just dead. He's just gone. And actually, he did have flash, but not going to use it. So down he goes, getting caught off guard by the Nico.
That's the one that really needs to work out as we take a look here. Yeah, he should have really just finished that.
There was time. He just wasn't expecting to get flash under turret. And yeah, I think this is a little bit of an issue. It's just a bit of a...
Oh, I like this.
Okay.
That's
Lens is a cow. He should press his R button. There he goes. A little bit late. Is going to flash away and survive. But yeah, it's a couple of ults that are thrown into Lehens for him just to press R and flash away.
Hey, it's something. I'll take it.
Oh,
look at that. Brion showing signs of life, defying the script.
Producer's going to be really angry with him. He's going to back and TP into this one, but we do have the TP already from Karis. And KT might just select to let it go. KT, Lehen still waiting to get in. The paranoia is there, as that was a little bit of a messy finish on that one. They do get in as Cuz goes alone, but a big Pop Blossom onto that front line as finally Morgan does get into the back line. They're trying to deal with the Jax. It is a little bit of struggle street, but they should eventually be able to do so. Stun comes in, but the root from the Nico is perfect as the flash on in from Morgan. Aiming gets too close to the stun, and Morgan is popping off in a huge way. And now we've got only BDD. Can he even survive here against Morgan? I'm not sure, as Morgan's got some backup, and Morgan will carry the team.
0 to ace. The battle lines that they have drawn for themselves.
And now the first-person view.
Again. Yeah, but I actually think it's good. But look, if they actually focused him, they can take him down. The Keen is already trying to deal with multiple people, get CC'd. The sidestep there on the roots to ensure that the counter-strike comes through. And Brion showing signs of life.
Just saying he has flash, but yeah.
Which is good.
Still playable. Let's see how this is going to go as the ult is thrown into aiming, but no follow-up as they are under a turret. I don't want to... What? Yeah. He's now Morgan. Like, you don't have the strength even in the 2v1.
Oh, we're
Let's
getting
see this.
Giga Cone. Because if we see the same combo as aiming!
Just hanging out, and he does have a lot of teammates here. Was it a bait at the end of the day as they're trying to get on top of Henna here? But the Braum is perfect. He stands in front, and then, well, the Aphelios dies as Keen gets in there and will push effort away. Note that Morgan was not a part of this fight. It was a very messy one. Yeah, I mean, At some points, the Drakes will be nice, at least. As BDD, maybe try number 2, as he's got a huge angle right underneath the turret, but the damage finally does come through onto Hannah, and it's only 3 of them, and again, Morgan is not here to help them out. All that gold just hanging out in the bottom lane, as KT, they get a very nice engage. Once again, abusing the Mega Cone, this time to positive effect, as they will start up the Baron.
Oh, and now I wonder, what is Bro's call going to be? Are they going to try and fight? Oh, that is a very defensive TP here from Morgan. They don't want to take the risk.
Yeah, I mean, there's exhaust available. Effort just dies. And they don't have any smite either, so now Morgan TP's in, and they give up the Baron. KT, a lot of mistakes in this game, but they're still very much in control.
Comes down. Gets put down, and this time around, the Mega Cone play, as we see, he does get spotted, but yeah, very early here, and then because of that, there's no damage available, but I think even if he goes for it later, I don't think it really matters.
Nico, yeah.
He will anyway. Okay, Cone is cleared.
They
don't know about Keen, but they do have a suspicion.
They saw him. Karis saw him, and now they're just getting surrounded, as now Paranoia's in here. Keen's in the back line, as the Nico is a bit late, but Karis is so low, and the Pop Blossom finally comes in. Hits the 3 in the front line, as Henna is getting some huge hits, but it's only hitting the Lahens in the front line, as finally they take out the Jax, and that will be enough as Lahens engages onto the weak backline members, and the Kaisa does clean up as she normally does, as KT will take this first game number 1.
Bit of a heartbreaker here for Breon fans. Fortunately, their mental made of steel, and KT fans, they sensed the roller coaster was going through a little bit of a downturn, but everything gets...
The orbit was beginning to decay a little bit, yeah.
We were starting to feel a little bit of gravity there, but some great team fighting from KT that take back control. Breon is unable to utilize the Fed Jax. The form of this player has been such a wonderful resurgence after what was such a tough 2022, as yeah, there we see the little bit of hope, right?
That's the
second
orbit,
Herald's
just
bout,
slowly decaying, and then they're like, oh, we got to turn on the engines.
It wasn't enough. And Hannah not having the best game, but also I don't envy him having to play into Nico, Kaisa, and Nocturne. I mean, it might just be Rel lock-in, right? But if there is a team that I know wants to use it as... Cuz?
Is he dropping the gauntlet? See, like, okay, Umpty, I saw you played this twice. I'm going to play it now. And I will show you how to play the Skarner.
This pick has not been in the best of spots.
I heard the entire arena groan. No, it was a groan, okay?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the cinch hover. That was the no, the groan. Yeah. That makes sense.
Coming out here once again, and we'll see how effective Cuz is with it in game number 2 right now. And I believe the last time we saw it, it was here in the LCK, and I forget exactly who it was. It might have been Zeka. Played it into like Renekton and like insane amounts of CC, and he...
Ooh, they were, I think, scared that maybe Cuz was going to show up. Could have chased that one a little bit farther, maybe invested the heal, but don't want to give that one up. But yeah, Hannah going in crazy aggressive here, as I was a little worried that Karis was going to take that Shuriken. And what that topside play did, it meant that Umpty is a little bit less behind. Did slow down Cuz a little bit, but still, as you can see, CS lead is here. And we'll see to what extent Cuz can leverage that. Now, a lot of his camps are going to be up here. And ideally, again, wants to get to 6 as soon as possible. Every single ultimate matters. Really, Cuz playing effectively the same champion 2 games in a row, where it's like power farm to 6, press my R button.
Umpty's got a nice angle here. Keen not in a good spot with the wave, but he does get the double slice, as Umpty does land the stun. They should be able to pick up his first blood. Very nicely handled there by the top and jungle from Bro.
And Keen, if he gets Dominus off, he might be able to just stay alive throughout all that, but not going to be the case. Cuz is right behind, but they might have an angle here.
Yeah, no flash for Keen, but he has Dominus. 1v2 is now trying to burst down Keen, and they will be able to take him out as the Impale comes in, but Cuz has to flash. And you can see Xayah Emilio can extend those autos and have a bit more of a presence in the lane, whereas Xayah oftentimes will not, but in this case can begin to harass aiming a lot better, as little bouncy fire kick gets thrown into Lehen's, but they don't seem to want to really contest there, although from the mid lane we do see BDD and Cuz making their way down just a little bit. But at the end of the day, it is just the Cloud Drake.
Yeah, once the setup is there though, Breon's scope is really hard to engage onto. With the Feather Storm, with effort existing, and this time around Hextech. 1-to-1, we're gonna fight over these dragons for sure.
As effort, Lehen's got there a little bit late. We saw he was a little bit behind that. As BDD also gonna whip here in the mid lane. The crown is down. As is there enough damage to dive the turret? Looks like they do not want to go for it, as Cuz Lehen's also rotating up the flash in. Jeez, they're really going for that one. I'm like trying to figure out their thought process, but I feel like maybe there wasn't.
Yeah, I didn't catch what happened with what the reason was why they rotated the mid in the first place. Might be to get a Herald and.
Well, you don't really have a good option to go 1v2 because you have 2 melees. So maybe they just say, well, Karis can just sit down there, and if we need him to teleport, he can just eat waves. And
but he can't.
And
that game left scars.
It did.
Oh, here we go.
Wall. You talked about that mobility. Lehen's looks to be just dead. No way out for him. No flash, no anything. Just gets caught in the river. Trying to ward, as that is a lot used. Let's see if KT do want to get on in here. As Karis now in position, and Dominus already procced. A lot of damage from the Feathers already being done. The soldiers are out, though, as the immediate Feather Storm is good, but Henna's getting pretty low. Keen, the only one in the front line, and the Feathers are pulled in. Now we got a Karis in the back line, but he's all alone, and down he goes. It's a double kill now for the Kai'Sa. Out of nowhere, KT stand their ground, and Bro go a little bit too far. And it's not even done yet, as aiming, looking for a W. From the Hextech Drake, from the Kai'Sa, and the Impale onto the Jax was great, and now we got another one, as maybe the Melio can help him, not quite enough, as he's just going to get pretty low, but Lehen's is going to be the one that gets left to the Wolves, as now Karis getting in there, BDD going to miss on that one, as Karis will dodge, but now KT going back into the fight, as Morgan is on that back line, as aiming is going to have to do a lot of the carrying here, takes down the Akali, but that's just about it. He gets stunned up, and Morgan will take down the shutdown.
Very important, as they still extend. Don't know about that one, but they will be okay in the end. And Omti, despite everything, is able to survive. Not at this early on. They shouldn't be able to, as that's going to be a Feather Storm. What? We have to... Well,
he didn't even... Now you got the Kai'Sa and the Renekton roaming on over, and they're ready right away. KT ready to go as the ult is thrown in. They try to get on top of Lehen's. He just flashes away. The Impale is onto the Morgan, I believe. No, he's going to use it now, as Karis getting on in there, but Emilio goes down immediately as a huge sweep comes in, and Morgan can't stun that back line as the Feathers do insane damage, but it's not quite insane enough. Morgan, once again, one more counter-strike for the boys, but it is not enough. It is a ace on the side in favor of KT.
And Breon just gets straight up outplayed in the 5v5, which,
and you know, fair enough, they are winning a lot, so yes. But you got to be careful. I mean, you go all in onto Xayah. Okay, he really does have that magnet, but at this point, as we mentioned before, doesn't really matter who you hit, hook rather. It can be Sejuani, it can be Umti, that's fine because you have the damage now.
That might be the end of it, as the mid lane inhibitor is surely going to fall, as Breon needs to deal with their bot side wave. Teleport coming in as well. No front line here for Breon.
It's just, again, you know, it does feel like some of the weaknesses of Bro being highlighted in this one, as Belio again existing. Just going to create ultimates. Morgan's got a nice little angle, but again, that counter-strike, once that goes down, can he do anything? The Nautilus ultimate comes in, and down he goes to a GA. Karis on that back line will avoid the hook, but the damage is too much. The Feathers doing insane amounts, but it's just not enough at this point in time. The wallets, they're not gigantic, but they are enough. And that should be enough here for KT to push in through the mid lane and end game number 2.
And Brion, there were some moments where they looked like they could step up, but the teamfight execution does not really coming together. This Akali wasn't the problem, but it definitely, well, maybe it was. It wasn't the solution, that's for sure.
I think Karis made it look pretty decent. I'll give him that.
Yeah, it's some enjoyers of the old Scorpion, perhaps. No. Lens and Keen were there. You know, the team fights were played well as per usual, but the Keen not having the best laning phase.
Thank you guys. This is Dear for the POG Interview translation. We are here joined by BDD and Amy on the side of KT. Congratulations! First off, BDD, with the 8th consecutive win upon today's victory, you are now tied with your team's most consecutive win record. So what does this mean to you? We were a little shaky, but even if we start out a little shaky in the beginning, we were able to close it out pretty well. I feel like we were getting more and more solid. And aiming, you reached 1,500 kills last match. And it looks like you have a little gift right here. They made me a giant bow. How pretty! How do you feel with my 1,500 kills and us starting out round 2 with a victory? I'm very happy. Aiming, this was actually a rematch with OK Swing Brion just after 2 days. And with your previous 2-0 victory, you must have been even more confident. So what aspect of your opponent's strength were you most wary of? I feel like they're actually really good at closing out a game and being able to stay focused throughout the game towards the end. So I felt like, you know, we were actually supposed to focus as well and make sure that we win towards and play well up until the very end. And BDD, in game 1, by 10 minutes, KT had a 3,000 gold advantage. You applied so much pressure in the mid lane and played it out so smoothly. How is this possible? I feel like I was doing pretty well, yeah, but our top and bottom was doing well as well. So I think that's probably why. And let's take a look at the replay right here. Do you remember this part? I feel like we were at a little bit of a disadvantage at this point, but we were able to utilize that blast cone, and I was able to kind of turn things around here. Yeah, that blast cone play was actually really cool, but then there was another part where you used your blast cone. What happened? I feel like it was a bug. I noticed that, you know, I was positioned correctly, but then it just my character, I saw that it just froze, so I think that was definitely a bug. And aiming in game 2, Skarner was locked in for Cuz. So was it something that the team has been working on? I feel like, you know, we've been getting a lot of jungle bans, target bans, and with us trying to come up with a good champion for the comp, we just confidently locked in Skarner. And aiming with the enemy Jax getting fed, he must have been so hard to deal with, so it all came down to team fighting. So what was the game plan? Yeah, so because we had so many deaths, I was a little mental boom, but my team kept me in the game. I noticed that Keen gave everyone a nickname. BDD, you happen to be the musician of the Rift. Aiming your Haram God, Kuz is Kajwani, Lehan's is Shu. So, what are your thoughts? Keen, yeah. I feel like, yeah, he's such a He has that dad humor, very unfunny. What about you, Amy? Yeah, I just went with it. What if you guys gave a nickname to Keen? I'll give that one to Haram. Amy, I mean, because he likes nicknames. Keen happens to be quite petite and cute, and a lot of people call him Fairy. But you know, he has teeth and gums, so I'll give him the nickname of Teeth Fairy.
마음에 들어하실지 너무 궁금합니다. 다음에 POG 받으면 또 여쭤볼게요. 자, 다음으로는 이제 한화생명전이 있습니다. 이 1세트
And up against next, you guys will be going against Hanwha Life. And Keen, who currently has 288 wins and 289 losses, will achieve a total LCK win rate of 50% upon your next victory. So, what's your mindset going into this match? Instead of focusing on milestones, we'll make sure that we keep up our momentum and continue our win streak. And I feel like Keen said that he will continue playing until he reaches a total win rate of 60%. So I'll make sure that we are able to help him with that. This will be the end of the interview with BDD and Aiming, and back to the space.